Hey everyone, welcome back to the Sunny Side. I'm Sunny, and this video right here is all about Gemini in relationships. Now, before we get started, just want to let everybody know, remind everyone I am a professional astrologer. Don't try this at home. And if you want me to look at your chart, or if you want me to, it's all in the description box below. But specifically, if you want to know if you have your eye on a Gemini, or if you're dating a Gemini, and if you want to know if it's for real, or if the Gemini is just playing with you, or if you want to know if the relationship's real, and if it's gonna be for the long term, or if it's just for a little bit of fun, then by all means check the description box and give me a call, and I'd love to look at your chart and help you guys out. All right, let's get down to it. This is all for Gemini here. Gemini. All right. The Gemini, witty and eloquent, the life of the party, and a great lover to boot. If you can keep him or her interested for long enough to settle down, sometimes the Gemini in your life can be the hummingbird, flitting from one interest to the next. And what is this guy trying to talk about here? All right, sometimes the Gemini in your life can be the hummingbird, flitting from one interest to the next. And then they can be the serious intellectual, moving from one stimulating idea again to the next with the ease of their own air sign. This means that as much as they want to be happy, the Gemini strives to bring discordant notes into the harmony, disconjunctive ideas into synthesis, and may even try to bring as they may perceive, your jumbled existence into greater balance. This type of relationship can be fraught with all sorts of perils, but it also can be a great learning and growing experience. All right, here's my 2 cents onto what this guy's talking about. So for Geminis get the reputation of being like, but they're not. Geminis actually go out and they bring things together. In the tarot, Geminis represent the Lover's card, and Gemini is one of the most sexual signs of the zodiac. And some astrologers, they actually consider Geminis a sign of, they don't consider the sign of sex. Obviously, Scorpio and the 8th house is a sign of sex, but Gemini is about bringing things together. It's that idea and bringing it together and assimilating all these informations. So yeah, and Geminis have a natural unrest within them because they're always checking out different things. Geminis are a super smart sign, so they always know, I need a little bit more information, a little bit more information, and they're extremely indecisive. But rather, it's not that they're indecisive, it's that they're slow to make a decision because they know that any little new morsel of information can change the whole outlook. So that's the deal with Gemini, just to start off with. All right, let's see what's going on. One of the best parts of learning to love, or simply learning to be around a Gemini, is knowing that they're the mimic of the horoscope cycle. What? That sounds like Libra. They can be whatever they want to be to them. And may in fact see what you are looking for in a lover and become that. Well, Gemini is a mutable sign. All mutable signs in the zodiac, they can change. Mutable means, in the zodiac, means the changing signs, and they can become whatever lover that you want them to be. So having said that, they can be a roaring Leo or a fiery Aries, a stable Taurus or a pensive Pisces. They can say all the right things and do the romantic dinners or the long walks, if that's what you're looking for. This is why they have such great success with the opposite sex and can attract the attention of even the most unlikely of personalities. It's important to remember that in spite of this great ability to adapt and change to meet the challenge of being your favorite lover, a Gemini is only mimicking, and in the end, you must love the curious mind and schizophrenic behavior that defines his or her life. Geminis are the tricksters of the zodiac, just to let you guys know. They can become anything as with all mutable signs, they can be anything to anyone. But just just be careful. Just be careful when you're dealing with a Gemini. It's difficult to get them to settle down, but they will settle down if they have the right person, and they definitely need someone who can stimulate their intellect. One of the Gemini's biggest challenges, and at the same time greatest attributes as a partner, is their desire to understand how you tick. This requires lots of questions and investigation into your head and heart, which can satisfy most people's deep-seated narcissism, but can also be a little unnerving. This curiosity is inextricably linked to a Gemini's need to understand all the things around them. This understanding can end up meaning that once they feel as though they figured you out, their interest may wane. So you always got to keep your Geminis on their toes, or they're just going to hit the boogie. There's some dark sides to the Gemini character. Totally. Gemini is one of the dark sides. They are the trickster of the zodiac. Much of their weaknesses lie in the shortness of their attention span. The love of new and shifting things can sometimes outweigh the importance of settling into a routine and enjoying the more familiar aspects of day-to-day existence. In short, Gemini lovers can be heartbreakers. They go full tilt into love and then, when bored, can toss aside people without too much thought, moving on to something new and more exciting. These qualities can hurt those around them and eventually leave them alone and wondering where all the people in their lives have gone. Geminis tend to have high divorce rates precisely because of this tendency. Give them a chance and they will 1 minute love the girl next they'll love the girl next door, and in the next minute run after the dominatrix with her whips and chains. That's totally give your Gemini lover a chance and they will keep you on your toes, but make sure that you stay true to your own nature and don't bend too much or ask too little, or you may find yourself the blinding will of Gemini's capricious nature. The secret with Gemini is just stay interesting. Keep mixing it up. Try different things. Do stuff with your Gemini. If they're not just intellectual, they don't just want to sit there and talk about it. Don't make the mistake with your Gemini of sitting there and talking about it. They want to experience it. And that's the secret with dealing with your Gemini. According to this here, it says that Gemini's best relationship matches are, first off, Libra. And they say this is your best match. They have just enough in common with you and just enough that it's different. And I'd say, yeah, Gemini and Libra actually could get along fairly well. And also it says Aquarius. They're just capricious enough for you. But at the same time, you got to watch out, because air signs with other air signs, they can just sit there and talk about love all the time. Love is in relationships a lot more than just easy flowing kind of vibe. In astrology, it's very easy to say that signs of a similar element can make great relationships, but that doesn't necessarily make great lovers. So that makes great friends. So if you want to, be careful when you're reading horoscopes in the newspaper or you're reading compatibility stuff. A lot of it likes to say signs of similar elements are compatible. But once again, to be for love and lust and fire and passion, you need a little bit more than easy breezy energy between you. And then it says Leo. At first you may be attracted, but this pairing is ultimately unstable. I think Leos and Gemini can get along well. Anyways, the worst relationship matches. Taurus, they're too slow for you. Although sometimes Geminis like to stay, Taurus's stay-at-home nature. Remember, it's a love relationship. You don't have to go everywhere, do everything with your partner. And when Gemini goes off to, go check something out, it's nice that when they return home that their partner's at home. So, as such, Gemini and Taurus can get along well. When Gemini takes off and hits the boogie and they come back home, the last thing they want to do is to try and figure out where you are, because if you're not home when your lover arrives, obviously it's not going to work. And then they get Cancer, too stable and domestic. That's an interesting one. Cancer feels things a little too deeply for Gemini. That's a thing there. And finally, Pisces, too emotional, needy. You'd hurt them far too often. I don't think Pisces is that emotionally needy. And I don't think the emotional side of this is a problem. I think what these guys are trying to say here is, I'll say it again. The Gemini's nature from flipping from one thing to the other and to not dig in, and Gemini's lack of accountability can be a problem for Cancer and Pisces, especially and Gemini definitely has problems with some of the fixed signs. Beside of that, all you got to do all signs are compatible with all other signs, just saying. And the most important thing to know when dealing with a Gemini is keep them interested, keep them moving, get out and have some dark fun. Geminis are not goody-goodies, and don't treat them like goody-goodies, and everything will be cool. They like to uncover all of the information in this universe. And that's the action, guys. Anyways, if you guys want to know, if your Gemini is the real deal or if they're just playing with you, then by all means check it out in the description box. And and set up an appointment, and I'd absolutely love to look at your charts to see what the potential is in your relationship. And that's the action from TheSunnySide.net. I'm Sunny, wishing all Geminis the absolute best of a super beautiful day. And I'll see you guys soon.